I think we are on a very important engagement, which concerns every Gambian in and outside the country. Constitution is very important, and I want us to understand whether we understand this is a public document and at the same time a political document. The National Assembly is a political house, and every political representation here has an emerging following in our respective constituencies. So it's important for us to look at the pattern in which we are building our constitutions. It's not easy for somebody to come with a constitution that is, in my opinion, not very much consultative as far as we are concerned. Had it been that consultation is done, it's going to be a different ball game. Honorable Speaker, I think when this 2024 draft was out, it has attracted national attention. You have a lot of people that are talking about these things. And once it was brought to the parliament, in fact, the debate was extended to a certain level, to an extent that it was kind of suspended for the second reading. But I believe that if the executive is very much interested about the passing of this particular bill into a constitution, they would have withdrawn the constitution and go back to people, discuss with all the political actors, and make sure that vital issues are captured in the constitution. I think that will help a lot. But it was rather unfortunate this was not done. And that is why still people are not very much comfortable. If you look at this, I want to inform you, Honorable Speaker, I was part of the 5th legislature. In 2018, the Constitutional Review Commission bill was brought to us. We unanimously enacted this. And that gave birth to the Constitutional Review Commission that was established by the executive, committing 116 million to the commission to consult the Gambian in and outside the Gambia. And that is why when that draft constitution was out, it was accompanied by an explanatory note. Not only that, there are instances where even we have this divergent view when you come to certain provisions. The voter statistics were provided. So, like for me, I want to believe that the 2020 draft was not rejected by the parliament. I have my reasons. Because the CRC was established by the government. Upon completion, they submitted to the government. The cabinet sat over it and they had a position, which was very clear. And they are very much aware of section 226 sub 2B, where the threshold is very high. And it was given to a few people in the parliament as a debating point, only to come and frustrate it. 33 of us voted for that constitution to pass, only 18 rejected it. It was very sad. You can see most of them in a jubilant mood in certain areas. But it was very unfortunate because during the 2026 presidential election, presidential campaign, there was a strong promise for us to have a new constitution in order to usher Gambia into a third republic. But it was unfortunate that fateful day, I believe the same executive rejected. But we want to understand, most of the people are talking about 1997 constitution, where almost 90% of that constitution empowered the presidency. Honorable Speaker, you will understand that there is one fundamental issue that is absent in our governance structure, job security, starting with our cabinet ministers, where the president will appoint within a blink of eye without any consultation. There's no provision that he's talking about. And the same way they can be sacked. If our ministers are not secured, who is going to be secured? Come to the permanent secretaries, the same. Though it is in consultation with Public Service Commission. So these are the type of empowerment that we want to. And this was adequately captured in the 2020. That was a people-centered constitution. But it was unfortunate. We came with the 2024 draft where we are saying, in fact, the powers that is given to the presidency should be increased. Where the supreme oversight institution, that's the parliament, you are even taking some powers from them. And in fact, for a country to be very vibrant, I think the parliament needs to be supported. It's true, our primary role is to legislate. But look at the type of almost 99.9% of the bills that are coming are all executive bills. Private member bills, you find it difficult, or committee bills. But it would have been easy for us to go into, allow this to go to a committee, to a portfolio committee that will independently identify their stakeholders, to engage them and take them through the provisions. Then from there, the report we debated and we go into committee of consideration. But going into the committee of consideration, this is where we have a problem, because that trust is not there. And it's an issue. But even if you look at it, for example, you talk about the election bill. That is not a private member bill. It's not a government bill. It's not a committee bill, but it's a government bill. And it was drafted by MOJ in consultation with the IEC. Upon completion, they reported. They look at all the provisions, they are comfortable with it, and it was brought to the parliament. To the portfolio committee, they also identify their stakeholders, and they were comfortable with it. Only to our dismay, to come to this parliament, section 14 was expunged. Seriously, because they believe that is favoring diaspora voting. Why should we? So these are some of the things that we look at it. And in fact, even the anti-corruption bill, unexplained wealth has been expunged. So we are not very much comfortable going with this to the committee of consideration. And that is why we still believe that constitutional building is not easy, but if this fails, let's try another. But I want to advise the parliament, let's look at very well the section 22 sub 2, section 226 sub 2b. Even whereas it's entrenched, let's do everything humanly possible to see how do we remove that so that we can have a smooth sailing when it comes to constitutional building. But the threshold is very high and it is making things very difficult. If we remove that, I think we'll be able to have a constitution. It's not possible for everybody to agree on every provision. There must be a divergent view. And I believe in the 2020, we have very limited issues that were major one. One is the retroactivity of the presidential term, and which was not well explained. And two, we have the judiciary remuneration, maybe, and secularism. And this can be, I think this can be fine-tuned at the committee of consideration. But we did everything humanly possible. We spoke, we debated, making all type of consultation, radio programs, but to no avail. It was rejected. The same executive chose these people to go and reject it. So it's very unfortunate. And that is why, as far as we are concerned, because there is an issue of trust as far as the committee of consideration is concerned. So we definitely want to push this out and look for another alternative, starting with to look at how do we remove section 226 sub 2b, because that is the stumbling block for a constitutional development. That has to be. If it whereas it will warrant us to go for a referendum to make sure that is expunged from the system. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I thank you and I beg to sit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Brikama South. I now invite the Honorable Member